But now I was intrigued. I'm like, hang on, 7:30, it's like 10 seconds quicker than the fastest ever recorded lap in this car, which was done by a professional race car driver. Can't be true. So when people come up to rent a car, actually, they sign a waiver, obviously. They have a certain liability. All our cars have an insurance. So in order to drive the Nürburgring, especially on these so-called tourist drives, all cars need to be road legal. They all need to be insured, obviously, for third-party liability. But the cars themselves, they have a damage excess, or what you would call a deductible, right? On those E36s, I think the deductible was 9,000 euros, where people would be liable for. So if they would write it off, it would be up to 9,000 euros that they had to pay just for damages on the car. Now, this sounds like a lot of money, 9,000 euros for an E36. Our E36s were not simply 325s that you would like send out on track. These were like fully caged cars with the AIM system in them, bucket seats, 6-point harnesses, the whole thing actually. So 9,000 is not a lot of money considering the cost that you need to build such a car. When people wreck these cars, they sometimes end up paying a lot of money for driving not sensible. That's kind of the policy. So people are simply liable for it. When people come to the Nürburgring, they always have the impression that they see something on YouTube or they see something on Gran Turismo or whatever simulators they're driving. What I hear a lot is that people, they practice on a simulator, they watch some YouTube video, and they try to get as close as possible to that. Now, that's a bad idea. Because first of all, nobody posts their slowest lap times on YouTube, right? You only post like your fastest laps or something, or your most insane laps, or I nearly died or nearly crashed kind of laps. When you try to replicate such a thing without any experience, that's a bad place to start, obviously, because your risk of having an incident is much, much, much higher. Coming back to how close people get to what a car is capable of on the Nürburgring. Far off, really far off. Here, small story as well, where we had, also in 2021 actually, a now very famous Formula 1 driver actually renting one of our cars. Sadly, I can't mention who it was because he wasn't allowed to do it actually, but that's what happens. And he rented one of our E90 330s. Now, these are cars which are, in my opinion, capable of doing an easy under 8-minute lap. Now, we cannot actually tell about lap times during tourist drives because it's like no-go. Just to keep it under the car, people, sub 8 is possible in our 330i's. Now, the quickest lap we've ever seen in such a car, and yes, it was on a track day, let's say, was actually a Belgian rally champion who also happened to do 24 hours of Le Mans racing. So he's a full professional race car driver. And I think his time was a 7:41, was his quickest time ever, which was also the quickest time I've ever seen, which is very respectable, considering it's a 260 horsepower, almost 20-year-old BMW. Young kid walks in with, I didn't know who it was. I don't follow Formula 1. I have absolutely no idea. Again, 2021, everybody's wearing these mouth masks, so no idea who it was. And he walked in with a friend of me, actually, which is a engineer for McLaren. The problem was that this kid was under 23 years of age, and under 23 you cannot drive alone, you actually need an instructor. Because it was a friend of a friend who is actually also racing on the Nürburgring, I said, hey, you know what, he can drive as long as you're in the car with him. So they go out and they do one successful lap. The second lap that they tried to do, there were so many yellow flags on the track, so they simply gave up. They were also limited in time, so they simply came back. And I started to talk to this young kid in front of me, and he's like, oh, you know what, Ray, if I would have had 5 or 6 more laps, I could do sub 7:30. Every time people come back with our cars, they always tell me these cool lap time stories, and sometimes believable, mostly not. But every time a kid comes back and he tells me, or a person comes back and they say, I nearly did this on their very first lap, that intrigues me. Now I am interested. Now I want to see the lap. Because we have video loggers in the car where I can see every lap every person did. And I usually never look at them. It simply gets boring after a while. But now I was intrigued. I'm like, hang on, 7:30, it's like 10 seconds quicker than the fastest ever recorded lap in this car, which was done by a professional race car driver. Can't be true. So I go and watch the video, and I see from the first 2-3 corners that he's something different. This is a different type of driving. This is way higher speeds that the car should be capable of. I asked him, I said, what do you do actually? Who are you? And then I looked at his driver license, which he gave to me before he picked up the car, and then I saw the name and I quickly did 1 + 1, and Then I know who it was, and he actually did a 7:34 on his very first lap of the Nürburgring. So this is a Formula One driver who does his first lap of a track that he's never driven before. That's a pro driver. How close do people get to that? If they're a minute off, they're good. They're really good. If you get close to a minute of that. Yeah. So this was a McLaren driver for Formula One. Very polite, very modest, actually. He's a very humble person. He didn't introduce himself as, hey, I'm a Formula One driver. So which is always nice. Yeah. And they have specific contracts. They cannot drive any other brand of car, for example. So they cannot simply go out and say, oh, I want to drive this BMW now, because McLaren will say, no, because you are a McLaren driver. That's what happened with professional race car drivers. Huh? And that's even in the GT car drivers. So let's say, as an example, I think he was here, Randy Popst, right? He's a journalist, technically. So he can kind of drive whatever car he wants. But he also did the lap record for Porsche at Road Atlanta, right? I bet he signed a waiver at the time saying, I will do the lap record for Porsche, but I'm not going to do tomorrow one for, let's say, Ferrari. Probably not going to happen. That's how it works. This is exactly what you need to understand about driving on the Nürburgring in generally. So there is many people who have thousands of laps in their own cars. We have customers, for example, who do hundreds of laps in our rental cars. Me, myself, obviously did thousands of laps in our rental cars because we all try them ourselves, obviously. And if we do with that set E90 330 a sub 8 lap, that's quick. Then we were literally beating the hell out of this car. And everything under 8 is let's say, it's all about luck, traffic. Is there yellow flags? Is there no yellow flags? So if you're sub 8, you're on the limit of what the car is capable of. Huh? And then you have this kid walking in, unknowingly to us that he was an actual Formula One driver doing a 30-second quicker lap than that in their first lap.
For the last 20 years or so, I've been working with Premier Financial Services for my own exotic car needs, but also sending friends and clients when I was a car dealer to Premier Financial Services because their simple lease is truly the most powerful tool in the world of exotic car financing. We love it because we get all the great things about leasing, like low upfronts, better tax treatment for business owners, lower sales taxes, but we also retain all the great things about a traditional finance arrangement, like the ability to accumulate equity, trade in and out whenever you want, and always know where your payoff stands because they give you an amortization table with every single lease. And Premier's been a supporter of VINwiki here for the last 8 years, and we love them for that, but truly because the customer support of the Premier Financial Services team is unmatched. And now that they're backed and wholly owned by First Financial Bank, that gives them even more buying power for their portfolio of the most significant and valuable collector and exotic cars in the world. It's also allowing them to create new and more interesting finance options and programs for their clients and giving them much more buying power, which is what everybody is looking for as they go on the search for their dream car. So check out Premier Financial Services right now at the link in the description below to thank them for their support of VINwiki and know that they'll be the perfect supporter of your journey to own your dream car.